I'm Kerry Stagmer, and we are the Blacksmiths of Baltimore Knife and Sword. We're going to be building some of your favorite things and fantastic objects you've never seen before. This is Man-at-Arms, Reforged.
Well, I guess you know where we're going with this. Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. We're going to be building what is one of the most requested weapons on the channel, Luck, later to become Pluck. We'll go through and forge this entire blade, show you how all the mounts are made. We'll come back, we'll do some engraving, then we'll get it out to testing, do some damage, here on Man-at-Arms.
Hey John, we got this piece of 1045. Going to pound out, we just need a handle welded to it if we could, please.
Okay.
You've seen us break down material on the 2B. That hammer has a 165-pound falling weight. The 4B that we're going to do this work on has a 400-pound falling weight. Unlike the 2B, where you're working the foot pedal and the blacksmith is primarily controlling it himself, there's a separate operator on these large hammers. Kevin now switches to the 2B. It'll give him more control. He'll be able to just take this material and work it out into the blade.
Now that Kevin has the blade for Pluck well underway, it's time to start figuring out the guard. My next step is to go ahead and cut these crown-shaped pieces for the side guards using our CNC plasma table, and then we'll go to the B3 sander and clean up the edges.
Now that Kevin has the basic form of the blade done, he's going to come back, hammer the tang down, creating the shoulders. The shoulders are where the guard sits. So once we've got that defined, we'll be able to start grinding, and John will be able to measure where the rest of the components on this sword go. Since we have so much material in this blade, Kevin's going to go ahead and forge some of that edge down to help me out.
Kevin's finished forging Luck for me. We know that it's an English knightly sword of fairly large proportions. He's done some of the edge work for me. I'm going to go ahead and true this point up, and then I'll be able to do some of the diamond grinding. We'll get them down fairly thin, but we've got to leave a little bit of meat before we go to heat treating to make sure we can do it safely.
John's preparing the parts for this guard. One of the first things he has to do is slot the guard. So we go to the Gordon milling machine, set in a cutter, and begin to make this cut. Basically like a drill press, but it allows you to cut from one side to the other.
The next step on the handle assembly for the Jojo build is for me to take these two slabs of steel, weld some 1/4-inch round stock as a spacer along the side of the tang, and then I'll put the other one on top and we'll weld it together.
So for the guard on Jojo, John's gotten me this fairly large piece of square he'd like to have the ends tapered out on. We have lots of ways to do that. We could be grinding it, we could be forging it. If we were doing multiples, forging is certainly the smarter way to go. I want to show you something a little different. We're going to mount it on a forge-all chuck on the lathe and then turn it round. So we'll actually go from a square, taper out to a round, do both ends of the guard, get her finished up.
For our Jojo build, the guard and handle parts are all fabricated, so now it's time to brass them with heat. Basically what we're doing with the hot brassing is we're using the torch to heat the metal to a good blue color. And we're taking a solid brass wire wheel, and with the friction and the heat, the brass is literally melting and, in essence, brass plating the part.
John sent me over to the donut making machine today, and we're not going to be making a donut this time, but we'll be making something round. I'm going to be making the pommel for this build. We need to put a counterbore on the face of the pommel to accept the gemstone that Ference is going to put in. Let's do this.
Now we take it to the Novacon mill. John and I laid out this design in AutoCAD, where this pressure diamond will cut deep into the brass surface, revealing the steel underneath. Decker now heat treats this massive blade. It's extremely long, so he's got to step up high where he can reach down and plunge it directly into the oil.
So the guys have heat treated and tempered luck. I'm going to go ahead and get on the polishing. I'll get into the blade, then we'll get it sharpened, put her together, out to the test.
With all the parts of luck now assembled, Rick reaches out with his finger inscribes the P, and luck becomes Pluck.
Click here to subscribe, or click here to see more episodes. Thanks for watching Man-at-Arms Reforged. We need to know what you want the team to build. Tell us in the comments below what you would like to see.